Have you ever tried to be still and felt your mind racing, your body restless, or even panic rise up? If so, you're not alone. Many of us think stillness is about sitting perfectly quiet, but the truth is, stillness is far more flexible, restorative, and powerful than you might realize. Today, we're going to explore what stillness really is, why it matters for your nervous system and sensory system, plus how to practice it in ways that feel safe, accessible, and even fun. At the end, I have a wonderful invitation for a project that we're doing this month for the 4th year here at Whittington Wellbeing. So stick around to the end for that one because it's got an exclusive community just for you. By the end of this episode, you'll have practical tools and gentle practices to invite stillness into your life without pressure or judgment. Let's get started.
Step out of the shadows, feel the power rise, catch the spark inside you, let your spirit fly, beyond the chronic burnout, Carole Jean's your guide, find your steady rhythm, nice joy on the tide. Forward, bright and bold. Leave the burnout far behind. In this journey, hearts unfold. Power's yours, seek and find.
Hi, if you're new, I'm Carole Jean Whittington, and welcome to Beyond Chronic Burnout, the podcast for autistic, ADHD, and ADHD women and the helping professionals who support us. In today's episode, we'll uncover the myths about stillness, explore its benefits for our nervous system, learn trauma-sensitive and neuro-friendly practices, and offer guided exercises to bring stillness into your everyday life. Whether you feel antsy, overwhelmed, or unsure, there's a place for stillness that works for you. So let's talk about some of the misconceptions about stillness, because believe me, when I started about a decade ago on this journey of getting out of burnout for myself, and I've been burnout and shut down and meltdown free since November of 2019, stillness was not my friend. I was the person that was like the second I sat still, my brain would kick in, my body would start like revolting. And it was just impossible almost. And I was trying meditation and all these different things, and it felt like it was just making it worse. So if that's how you've been feeling, I get it. Many people think stillness means sitting perfectly quiet for a set period of time, emptying the mind completely, doing nothing at all. These ideas can actually make stillness feel intimidating or downright impossible, especially for those of us who are autistic, ADHD, or ADHD humans. You may notice panic, racing thoughts, amplified fidgeting, or feeling like you don't have time or that you should be doing something productive. Let's talk about what stillness really is. Stillness is about presence. Being in the moment that you're in, not in the past, not in the future. Stillness is about attention and connection with your body, your breath, and your mind without judgment. Now, I know I just threw a monkey wrench in that for you, right? It's okay. I'm going to get you some practices and we're going to do them together. That's going to help that make it a little easier. It can be moving gently. Stillness can be noticing sensations, listening deeply, or simply pausing for a moment. Just one breath. The key here is intention and awareness, not perfection. Y'all know I'm a research girl, so let's talk about some of the research into stillness. Studies show that stillness practices activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps reduce stress hormones, lower heart rate, and regulate breathing. Improve sensory integration, reduce hyperarousal, and support emotional regulation. One study in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience found that even short guided stillness sessions improve mood, attention, and get this one, it's important, executive functioning, showing that you don't need to sit completely still for benefits. Hallelujah, am I right? Stillness literally helps your body and brain recalibrate, restore energy, and strengthen resilience and flexibility, making it more of one of the most powerful self-care tools that you can practice. And it's probably the one that we often avoid the most. There was some research that came out that was showing recently, and I don't have the source here because it's popping in my brain to share it with y'all in the moment. But there was a research study that was showing that 2 hours of quiet, silence a day actually helps your brain neuroplasticity, helps you to create new pathways. And, I love the default mode network, the DMN. We are always talking about it in our Accelerate group in the Unveiling Method. But, that's one of the things that I think was really hard for me because I also have some trauma in my background. And that's something that I've been healing in layers over the last few years. And so stillness has really been this place of, I was avoiding it. I was never still unless it was like I was so burnt out that I was just I was almost catatonic and I couldn't do anything. And that was usually the only time I was still. Otherwise, I always said I was like this shark. I was constantly moving. I never stopped because it didn't feel safe to stop. So stillness for me, and I didn't even have the words for it, right? I didn't even know what it was. I didn't recognize what I was doing. But I was avoiding stillness. And so as I began to bring stillness in, it had to be done in a way and kind of on my terms. And I'm sure it's going to need to be done on your terms too. So in our segment for Plant the Seed, I'm going to share 4 exercises, practices with you to kind of meet you where you are so you can start to play with this. But let's start with prepare the soil. Let's begin by preparing the soil. This is our moment to pause, to get grounded and connected to ourselves and create space for today's insights to take root before we practice. This allows our brain to kind of open up and receive in a better way. So find a comfortable position, sitting, lying down, or even standing. Close your eyes if that feels safe, or simply soften your gaze, whichever feels most comfortable for you. Take a slow, deep breath in and gently let it out. Take another slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, notice your shoulders, your jaw, or your hands, and simply allow them to soften as you continue to exhale. Imagine or sense your body as a wave in the ocean, rhythmically moving on shore. With each exhale, release tension. With each inhale, invite calm and curiosity. Set a gentle intention for this time, to explore stillness in a way that feels safe, nourishing, and just right for you. Take one more comfortable, full breath in and slowly exhale, releasing just a bit more as you soften your body. When you're ready, I invite you to join me as we plant the seed of stillness. Now, let's explore stillness in action. Remember, you don't need to sit perfectly still. Frankly, I don't know that I normally can do that. I don't know about you. I do better now, but I still am always in motion. So these 4 short practices that I'm going to share with you here are going to honor your nervous system, your sensory preferences, and your neurotype. So let's start with number 1, body aware stillness. Lie down or sit with your feet on the ground. Notice points of contact and gentle sensations. Shift slightly as needed. Your body's movement is part of the practice. This can even be, you can stand and sort of sway side to side. Practice number 2, sensory pause. Choose one sense, sound, touch, sight, even balance. Notice it fully. For example, hold a smooth object. Feel the sun on your skin. Or focus on ambient sounds, preferably the ones you enjoy. Practice number 3, micro movement stillness. And this one can be fun. Gently sway, tap, or hum as you notice your breath. This can feel playful and helps integrate calm without forcing rigidity. And finally, practice number 4, creative stillness. Doodle, color, or trace patterns slowly. You are engaged in stillness by focusing your attention and being present. Grab a coloring book. Have fun. The key is to approach all of these practices with curiosity, not judgment, with compassion, not perfection. Each movement, pause, or sensation is a way to nurture stillness. This is your gentle invitation to try something new, one small shift at a time. Which of the 4 practices really spoke to you just now? I'd love to know. Hop over to Instagram, go to Carole Jean Whittington, and hit me up in the DM or add a comment on one of our Self-Care September Exploring Stillness posts, whichever one's up for the day. It doesn't have to be the same one. Just say, hey, Carole Jean, I listened to the podcast, and this is the one that I really liked from the Plant the Seed practices. I really want to know which one you liked. Please share with me. And now we water and nourish. These are your reflection prompts to deepen today's insight and support sustainable self-discovery. I always incorporate this water and nourish segment because for me, and I think for so many of us, we need more processing time. And I have alexithymia, so for me, journaling, just writing things down, or just having a prompt, a question, a good quality question, because, you can have some really crappy questions, but having a great quality question that allows me to think about something and I give myself some space to really process and let it percolate, it makes a huge difference. And it's really powerful when we pair it with our little bit of present mindfulness and meditation that we do, a practice that we try that's simple or easy, just something we can do in the moment. And then we kind of reflect on it. So that's what we do here in this water and nourish section. So take a moment to reflect on your experience. Here are 2 journaling prompts that you can use. Number 1, what did I notice in my body, mind, or senses during stillness? Whatever version of stillness you tried. Number 2, how did allowing small movements or sensory focus help me feel more present or calm? This is a really good one. I liked this one. I think a lot of times we just try to bypass and move through stuff. It's like, oh, I'm going to check off my self-care box. Like I did the stillness thing. But this actually allows us to really start to notice how these small movements can make a difference in how we're feeling, even if it just shifts it slightly. It puts things back in our control and how things feel for us. Let's reclaim that one together. Even brief observations are valuable. You don't have to write like pages or paragraphs. You can just simply write down a couple bullet points or 2 or 3 words for any of these reflection prompts. This is your opportunity to notice, to celebrate even. My gosh, how often do we just move through and not pause to celebrate something? Like if you did one of those practices and it was fun, it made you feel good, celebrate that and learn from the process. There's absolutely no rush. I think we feel like we're so rushed all the time, like we're behind. But let your reflections unfold with gentleness because your healing deserves time and tenderness. Welcome to our segment in the show called Root to Practice, where we take the insights from today's episode and ground them into real-world tools for your work as a helping professional. Let's translate theory into meaningful neuro-affirming care. For clinicians and coaches supporting autistic, ADHD, and ADHD women, here are 4 guides to implement in your practice. Number 1, introduce stillness as an invitation, not a demand. So many of us have a pervasive drive for autonomy, and anything that feels like it is a demand or it is being placed on us without our agency will immediately create the space of resistance. So I always say, I like to extend an invitation because really everything is a choice. But sometimes if somebody phrases it where it doesn't feel like a choice, it doesn't feel good at all. And the whole point of self-care and stillness is to help us feel better. So remember, introduce stillness as an invitation. Our second one is to use sensory anchors or micro movement options to meet clients where they are. I love to have a basket, and I've got like a whole container here on my desk of sensory tools in a variety of textures and, moving parts, all different kinds of things. And I'm sure you probably have some of these things in your office too. This is a great place to incorporate it. You can even do it in micro movements like tapping. So you can even like tap each one of your fingers, thumb to fingertips and just count even, finding ways to create rhythm. So in stress point learning and in the work that I did in research into vision science and stress point learning in particular, what happens that helps us rewire and also calm our nervous system, it helps rewire our brains, especially if there's trauma present, is to create a rhythmic movement because it can be very, very calming. So use your sensory anchors or micro movement options to meet clients where they are. Let them find a movement, a sensation, something that feels really good for them. Here's number 3. Frame it as an experiment. Curious exploration rather than performance. Because I know darn good and well, we all get caught in this, want to meet these goals, these expectations. We have a plan of care in place and we want to achieve these goals. And yes, we want to help our clients succeed. But when it's with this constant foot on the gas of performance, sometimes that happens on an unconscious level. So really make sure you're reframing this as a place of experimentation, compassionate curiosity. Like, let's just see what happens if, instead of always having that goal being present or even iterating it out loud. Sometimes just put it on the back burner and play for a minute. And our final one here is encourage journaling, reflection, or creative engagement to process insights. There are so many ways, like that creative stillness exercise, the number 4, where you can doodle, color, have some coloring books available, have markers, have pen and paper where people can doodle as they're kind of thinking through things. Journaling is just really wonderful. It really is such a useful tool, but it may not be comfortable. It may not be the place somebody feels like they can move straight into. So creating other ways to allow reflection and to sort of slow everything down, that's a really great way to help process insights. and to co-regulate and to sort of discuss them together. I love to talk stuff out, especially when we've done something new or explored a new practice with a client. I love to do this because I'm like, look, you may not have an answer right now. Take it home with you. Keep percolating on it. Jot it down. Send me a message. Let me know if something hits you, tonight in the middle of the night or whatever. Just, shoot me a message the next day. Because, we want to celebrate also when people have those insights because they feel really good. And we want to take that moment to acknowledge it, but also just to say, hey, you don't have to have the answer right now. You might come up with it next week, and that's okay. So here's a quick recap of our route to practice. It's a simple framework: invite, explore, reflect, and integrate. This allows clients to experience stillness safely and internalize the benefits over time. So that's your route to practice for today. Take what resonates, adapt it to your style, and keep supporting your clients with care that's grounded, compassionate, and real. So today in our episode together, we explored the myths and realities of stillness, how it supports our nervous system, sensory integration, and emotional regulation, trauma-sensitive, neuro-affirming, and friendly ways to practice stillness. Research shows even small, gentle stillness practices activate the parasympathetic nervous system, improve attention, and support overall well-being. So I want to invite you to join our 4th annual Self-Care September, where you'll receive the 30-day stillness calendar, the stillness support guide to help you navigate those places where stillness doesn't feel safe or comfortable, an exclusive live community event, and a few bonuses when you join our new school community. And the invitation with that link comes after you register for Self-Care September. A special discount code for a couple of different things for well-being support from Whittington Wellbeing this month as we celebrate our 4th annual Self-Care September with you. All of these things are designed to help you practice stillness gently, intentionally, and with community support, because you do not have to do this on your own. And it's actually more fun with friends. Remember, you don't have to earn your care. It's already yours. Claim it, nurture it, and explore it with support this month. Join our Burnout Recovery for Indie Women community on school this month, and let's do this together. Thank you for sharing this time of stillness with me. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. Breathe, drink some water, and notice the beauty in pausing. Take care.
Thanks for being here. It's been quite a ride. Energy mastery, let's turn the tide. Top shelf guests, dropping wisdom bombs. Join us next week, where the energy's strong. Beyond chronic burnout, we're breaking free.